This is the Big Glasgow Comic Show on East Bartonshire Radio. Be warned, this is a spoiler show. Follow the Big Glasgow Comic page on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
Welcome to the Big Glasgow Comic Show. Today we'll be discussing Uncanny Avengers, Superman, Amazing Spider-Man, the Flash pilot, the rumours of the Predator sequel, Daredevil casting, and the Deadpool movie rumour. Hello and welcome to the Big Glasgow Comic Show. I'm Mario and I go by Marvel on the page. Today I'm sitting in with
Jamie, also known as the Mighty Jamie.
And introducing the new James.
I'm James and I go by JP on the page.
How does it feel Sitting in a very worn seat.
I'm sitting in a really worn seat. I'm sitting next to someone who has a massive love interest for Superman.
And Howard the Duck. You're forgetting Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. No.
That black spot in his life. No one will ever live it down.
That spot that we
Jamie has taken the place of Matt last week. We will be giving it stinking today.
I just want to clear up, the Superman thing's only partly true.
Oh.
The Howard the Duck is completely true.
Oh,
Don't
no.
admit that.
I will admit what I want to admit.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of like plenty of people turning over now because they think we're going to have a segment on Howard the Duck. Thank you, Jamie.
I think I can read Kale's mind. He's pleading the fifth on this. How about we jump right into the first comic this week, guys? We all read Uncanny Avengers issue 21. How did we all feel with it? With everyone knew that Kang is going to show his spots. He's a villain through and through. Anyone else see it coming eventually?
Sort of, like, I didn't see it taking that sort of turn, but I did sort of think he would. Well, it was inevitable that I was going to portray him. I just didn't think he would sort of do what he did. I'm trying not to spoil it, but we probably will spoil it in 3 seconds.
Spoiler show, people, sorry. If you haven't read your comics, then tough. We're going to spoil them anyway.
Alright, well, I think we should let James spoil it since it's his first show.
I'm not taking the dairy on this one. All I'm going to say is Kang made a very long list of characters that I don't like.
Kang absorbed the soul of a Celestial that died because Thor killed him.
Well, Thor killed him and might have died.
Let's just put that out there. He might have died. Let's just face it, he's going to be alive.
Because who kills Thor? Like, get your Norse mythology in there.
Many have tried.
The guy that wrote the Ragnarok story, Rhino at some point, and the Serpent, I think. Those are the guys that killed Thor.
Not bad. You like your Thor, don't you?
Don't start, Mario. Don't start.
Just...
Oh, I'm not getting on it. Yeah, I love Thor as well. I think in this issue, he's actually getting his revenge. He's the only character that's, well, one of the few remaining characters that was brought back from the past. Their mind brought back and put in their younger bodies. So he's been carrying a lot of weight of guilt for bringing Jarnborn.
Yes.
For creating it and for it falling into the wrong hands to kill a Celestial to begin with, which has brought the Executioner to Earth to destroy it. So he's been carrying a lot of guilt here, and he's finally getting his retribution. But to be thrown into the husk of the Celestial, I think he's just going to come out like a smouldering steak. Well done. Crispy round the edges. Well
True
done.
Man. True man.
Because you were saying earlier before the show, like, he'll come out with the hammer and the axe in one hand, and he'll be bald, and he'll just be smouldering and all that. But I don't see, like, the death. I think it'd be cool if you saw that, but we just see, like, the Deathlock's corpse sort of still locked around him.
Yes.
I think that would be pretty cool, because, like, you just see the metal's all burned and all that, and then you just see, like, a skeleton or a very well done piece of meat if we're sticking to the steak metaphors.
I just want to get out there. Thor, Chris Hemsworth, is smouldering anyway.
Yes.
And for that piece of meat,
I'm
I just putting that out there.
I'm just totally agree with you.
Thank you,
But
James.
let's-
Nice to meet you, mate.
Yeah, it's just it's one of those ones. It's like if Thor's actually like dead, we all know Loki wouldn't be far behind going lol, but he's not dead. Like
What I did find interesting, the plan to save Earth, Rogue taking all the powers from every Avenger, which is quite interesting. They're travelling around the Earth. Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch carrying her, getting every sap of power to stop the Celestial boot coming down through Earth, which is brilliant. I never saw that part of the story happening. I didn't know. I just thought it would be Thor taking it to the Executioner. I didn't see that happening. And also what I didn't see was the Wasp getting one of the Horsemen of Death, the Sentry, because he's a protector of humanity. He's also helping to stop the Executioner So does that mean that this is a start of the kind of return of rebirth of the Sentry? Are any of you familiar with the backstory in the New Avengers and Dark Avengers?
Aye, isn't Sentry sort of like he gets his powers from
drugs,
experimental drugs?
No. It isn't experimental drugs, but he stole them from the lab. He was a junkie at the time.
I think that's pretty cool because usually all the heroes with the heroes and stuff,
they're all good.
They're very good, clean cut, or if they're not good from the start, it's like they're raised to be good and they live in the ideals and all that they've been given. But to see like a junkie become a superhero, I think that's quite good. And the thing that's interesting about Sentry is he's not really a good guy. He's very fragile.
Yeah, his mind.
Psychologically, that's why Norman Osborn was able to take advantage of him. And I like the fact that they've just made Sentry completely bonkers because I like to see him. I don't want to see him become a good guy. I want to just keep him a crazy, powerful guy. But see the bit where he like rips open his head and you've got like, the brain and the eyes and all that. Keep that bit of crazy a bit away. Bring it in just for a little bit, just so we can just see how truly far gone he is.
Well, to be fair, if he's already alive, they've done it before with Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Not necessarily dead ones, but they've turned them good. You've got Angel, you've got Wolverine, you've got Gambit, who for a while could go to that place, and it was a kind of black-skinned, white hair. I think his cards could take souls into them. I can't remember. It's a while ago since I read it. So you've still got Banshee left, I think. You've got Sentry. Grim Reaper's been defeated. So the Ken's still alive as well. So does that link in with the whole Wolverine title as well, possibly?
I don't know. I don't think they'll bring... Is it the Ken or Daken? I've always went by Daken.
Is it no Draken?
No, I don't think so.
Why
the Ken. We'll go for
The Ken.
Daken.
I'm going to be that one guy who refers to him as Daken then.
Okay, Daken.
Anyway, the Ken. Daken, I don't see them bringing him into the Wolverine 3 Months to Die. They might bring him back in later. Like, inevitably. Eventually when he comes
morning.
back. Not in the morning. Why would he mourn a dad that he hates? Or something.
He's always been trying to...
Kill him?
But yeah, well, kill him for what happened, so... I don't know, maybe something will change. Something could change.
Him having daddy issues is not a fact that no one knows. Everyone knows he's got daddy issues.
Has anyone else ever had a look at all the comics? Every character has daddy issues. Daken, Spider-Man, his daddy wasn't there. Tony Stark, his daddy didn't want to see the nice shiny weapons that he was building. You know, like...
Oh, Tony, you're at it again in your room. I'll just leave you to it.
It's a go-to place for daddy issues for characters, isn't it? It's just like, how can we build this character? He's got daddy issues.
See, Tony Stark, do you think, like, when most kids, when they're bad, the parents say, alright, no toys, go straight to your bedroom, do you think Tony Stark was a bit different in the fact is, Tony, what have I told you about assembling doomsday weapons in the living room? Go back to bed. No, you are not assembling an A-bomb.
Oh.
If I could just say one more thing about Uncanny Avengers, there was a segment in it that I found it was hilarious. It's the 2 pages where Rogue and Sunspot and Wolverine walk in and they tell the plan.
In the middle of Scarlet Witch
Rogue
getting
just
jiggy.
Breaks down. Getting jiggy. Rogue just says, "I'm so sorry. I was going to kill you. Let's just hug it out." She goes up, she hugs him, and Scarlet Witch is like, "You were going to kill me." She's like, "No, it's in the past. It's in the past. Let's just hug it out. Let's just do it." I was like, that was fantastic. It was. Exactly, it's up there with the Sam Nova suite when he finds out about the girl's face. That it's just those little moments that just make comics brilliant.
Yeah, it's the penultimate chapter as well. It's an absolute epic run for Uncanny Avengers. I would like to see this story arc coming to an end now because it's been. I think this is now 17 issues in this arc, 21 issues in all. So. It's very, very long. It's a big read. So next issue is the final chapter, which, well, I'm guessing into Rick Remender's Axis, possibly. So that will be quite interesting.
Because I think for Rick Remender not to have Uncanny Avengers tie in with Axis wouldn't be be that smart, because isn't Axis, everything that's happened from the first story arc and Uncanny Avengers up to Axis, it all ties together. No, it all leads up to Axis, sorry, so to have them not tie together, I think wouldn't be a very smart move, but it probably will tie in together.
Well, with that all tying up, I feel tied up right now because Jamie's going to talk about Superman issue 32. Yes.
Yeah.
Take it away, mate.
Do you want to walk out?
Aye.
Yeah,
Well,
use
how long have we
yeah.
got? About 5-10 minutes? Pint?
Yeah.
15?
Yeah.
15? Alright, let's
Alright.
go.
Well, this issue is the first issue of the new creative team. It's Jeff Johns on writing and John Romita Jr.
Yes.
I think this is his first work for DC because he's been with Marvel for God knows how long.
I think it is. I'm not rather familiar with his previous work. I've known him to be a Marvel man for years, so it is quite possibly his first work in
well,
DC.
It's quite interesting. It's everything that Scott Lobdell's done has just been horrible, and this is a new spin on it. It's new creative. Anyway, it starts off quite interesting. They have like the human parallel of. They have the human. I know what you're going to do. They're introducing a new character called Ulysses, and his storyline is pretty much the same as Superman's, like with slight changes. Like there's a research center going to blow up, so they sent him into a different dimension where we'll get powered up, and then after that we have Clark maybe joining the Daily Bugle again, and then
I wasn't familiar that he'd caught up to date. I'm set on air. I'm not a Superman fan. I'm a Doomsday fan. So the only Superman ones have Doomsday in it. That's the graphics I have. So when did they leave the Daily Planet?
Way back in Scott Lobell's first run, it wasn't particularly interesting. So Clark's might be joining the Daily Bugle again, and then we have a fight.
Planet. That's Spider-Man.
Daily Planet, and then we have this attack from something, and then there's something that on this spaceship that's attacking. Superman gets knocked down, and there's someone on it that says, "Superman, get up. That's not how I taught you how to stand up." So that's very interesting. Could this be Jor-El? Could it be Jonathan Kent? We don't know. And then he's fighting this, and then this enemy is able to attack Superman. He gets a beating, and then the new character Ulysses comes in. They both team up to destroy him, and then this is when we find out that Ulysses is sort of like the Superman of this alternate dimension, but he's been told Earth was destroyed, and it wasn't. So to him, to arrive on Earth is quite spectacular. So it was a good issue. It was a good start. This is how they should have started Superman when the new 52 was launched. So it's very good, very interesting.
I quite liked it. The start, I made the comparison to the origins of Superman. It was 24 years in the past in the first couple pages.
I think so. It was.
Let me just get that here. 25 years ago, 3 miles below Omaha, Nebraska. And it's almost a site. If you were to hold up the story of Superman side by side with that, it's identical.
Just trading the exploding planet for an exploding research station and sending him into space with sending him into a different dimension, then you pretty much the parallel of it's pretty good. A big thing people were worried about was the art, because he's John Romita. He's got a very split.
Yes, he's not.
Is this the guy that can't do legs?
No, this is the guy that can't
no.
do faces.
Oh, we can't do faces. Oh, okay.
Oh
From
no,
what I
no,
can-
no!
From what I can see, he does very good legs.
Oh, there you go.
If you don't mind saying so yourself.
All the promotional pictures they've shown for this have been some good, some bad, but I was quite happy with it. It was very good. The artwork actually fit in quite well with the story Jeff Johns was doing, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the arc. Wasn't going to ramble on for that long, did you? Yeah, that surprised you.
Well, I'll just want to kill you off right there with that.
I'm done,
With you and Superman, I want to kill yous off with some kryptonite and some 3 Doors Down.
Well, I took a walk around the world to ease my troubled mind. I put you back on solid ground. If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? If I'm alive and well, will you be there holding my hand? I'll keep you by my side with my superhuman might, kryptonite. If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? If I'm alive and well, will you be there holding my hand? I'll keep you by my side with my superhuman mind, kryptonite. Yeah! If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? If I'm alive and well, will you be there holding my hand? I'll keep you by my side with my superhuman might, kryptonite.
Brian Singer! So that song was requested by Dreamweb on Dreamweb360 Andy Laws on Twitter. So, into another comic, a new series, well, a fairly new series, 2 issues in, Trees, written by Warren Ellis and art done by Jason Howard. Fairly new series. It's not giving us a lot of info. Our kind of main characters is the team in the Arctic, and at the end of the last issue, one of them found flowers growing near the base of one of the trees. A little bit weird because they've said that nothing really grows up there, so they're trying to experiment and try and find if these trees are changing wind patterns and stuff. It looks the art's really pretty. It's almost reminiscent of Chew for me, to be honest.
James, you were actually saying about that before we were on the air, weren't you?
Yeah, it was a bit. It's the creepiest sort of comic book I've ever read because you don't know a lot about it, and you know the artwork for it's very gritty in a way. It kind of goes with it. The fact that you don't know much and it's quite unclear, like who are these people talking, and you are put in the position where you're. Like, in the first issue, I noticed you were seeing sort of like a lot of different characters, and like personally, I didn't know where they fit in. So hopefully, as that goes along, you'll eventually get to the point where you'll realise that these characters maybe might even all have something to do with each other or come together. The main point is like these trees, no one knows what they are, and the fact being that they're everywhere. So it's like, how far will we get into the comics where we find out what they are? Will we ever find out what they are?
Well, basically, I mean, I'm only halfway. I've not finished issue 2 yet, but I'm basically no idea what's going on. I quite like that. The art's really good. It's quite good. I agree with both what you said, but a concern I have is sort of, it kind of reminds me of Lost in a way. Like, you don't know, like when Lost started, you didn't know what the island was, and eventually you have 8 seasons and it was such a long wait, and the ending just wasn't worth it. The payload that you got was bad, and I honestly don't think it's going to be bad because Warren Ellis is a fantastic writer. He's done. What's he done? Again? I don't know.
Oh God!
Really famous guy.
Oh, he's done this and that. What's he done again? Don't know.
This better not be another Jamie Remembers thing from you, man.
Oh yes, Jamie remembers.
Ah, man, I wish you were here instead of me. I really do.
Yeah, because Howard the Duck's one taking a pounding today.
By Brian Singer.
Oh, allegedly.
Nothing allegedly about it.
Transmetropolitan.
The X-Men.
Planetary Omnibus. Lots. Red as well. Well, he's done lots of stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
he's done lots of stuff. He's a good writer from what I've read in Trees, and for a writer to like keep your intrigue for 2 issues and have you questioning everything in only 2 issues. It's not like every writer can do that. Some can, but not on this scale, I think.
As like I was saying to Mario the other day, it's a bit like the TV show Utopia, because for the first 3, maybe 4, in fact maybe the whole series, you didn't know what was going on. You were given these sort of inklings to what was going on, and you knew it was about a graphic novel. Something was important about that graphic novel, and like everyone wanted it. And yeah, I think it could turn out like something like that. It could have this massive endgame that no one's expecting. Like it might not even fit there, but the fact is, it's because it's so big. You're like, okay, I could happily say that I've read like 5, maybe 10 issues in, and I'm only just finding out what it is. So it's something like that.
I'm really liking the whole story. The only characters that we've revisited, that they revisited in issue 2, is the team in the Arctic, which I'm guessing that plays a major importance throughout this book. But also the fact that the first 2 issues, they've jumped around all over the place, from Manhattan to a Greek island to Somalia. It's shown that it's a worldwide event, and it's not just it's focused on, like The Walking Dead, it's only focusing on these survivors just outside of Georgia. It's building a world around it. So is this going to be kind of like what title was it? The 52 weekly issues that DC done.
Future's End.
Not Future's End. The Countdown to Final Crisis, and the other one 52. Yeah, kind of like them, where you have, say, a dozen stories going on along at the same time, but maybe you'll only see these characters for 3 or 4 issues, then they'll take a little break while they focus on other characters, and then you'll see them further down the line when something's been revealed or they've discovered something about it.
I can see that happening, actually.
One more thing that I wanted to get in is, like, at the end of the first and second comic, there's these segments on their own pages.
Yeah.
They, from what I got from the first 2 issues, they're obviously linked. I don't know if altogether they're going to make a statement. They're going to suggest what's going on. Maybe, like, because it's like 3 words. I'm sure in the first issue as well, it's 3 words as well.
Yeah.
And the first one, if you've got what it says at the end of the first one.
Both of us are loading up furiously. It's almost a race of time. Let's see who can get there first. Does Jamie remember?
There's nothing on. It's just a symbol.
Nope, keep going. I'm sure there's...
No, it's just...
No, that's it.
Is there nothing genuinely?
Yeah.
There.
Oh, wait. All this is normal. It doesn't care.
Which is a rather weird thing, you know. It's
Might
kind of creepy, you know. It's
might imply that, like... I mean, all this is normal to the characters in this comic. Like, they're just getting on with it. But it doesn't care implies maybe that these trees are most certainly alive.
Speaking about what's alive and what is dead and what is going to happen, tell us about Justice League. Issue 31, Mario.
Well, what's alive?
There's a segue for you, Alan.
Oh, I thought it was just myself competing with Alan, but now Jamie's laying in there. Alan, if you're listening, mate, which we know you are, I feel sorry for you, because you are going to have one hell of a payoff to come back from.
Bring it.
Yeah, so what is alive is the fact that Lex Luthor knows now for certain that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Along with all of us, by the way, before I spoil it all for you. If you didn't know Bruce Wayne was Batman, check yourself into a clinic.
Lexi's a wee bit, behind on the game. I mean,
I know, for one of the smartest people on Earth, only after Nightwing is discovered to be Dick Grayson does the smartest man in the world figure out, hold on, he could be Batman.
let's check it out.
The smartest man in the world, but he ain't the cleverest.
Ooh, nice distinction.
Ooh, ouch. Yeah, I really liked it. a lot of back and forth between two of DC's kind of smartest men, you know, Bruce Wayne and Lex.
By the look of the art, I've not read it, but by the look of the art, it's sort of got like a, you know, at the end of Sherlock Holmes, the second movie, where Moriarty and Sherlock Holmes just sit down and they're just talking, but at the same time they're thinking about how
the
to
fight.
her. That's cool. What it reminds me of. I would have used the newer one, but I've not seen that yet. So there.
In the art, the writer on the book, Jeff Johns, again, still doing a cracking run, and the art is done by Douglas Mank. Yes, Douglas Mank.
Where did it say that?
Right there, next to the A. Underneath
That-
where the W is next to Jeff Johns, you know.
Mank?
Mank.
Manky? Mank?
I think Mank, by saying him Manky and us being Scottish, you're saying that he's rather dirty, which the art isn't. The art is absolutely beautiful. It's rather clean.
Defined, very defined.
And that is sorry to all the listeners, we're looking at a page of Bruce Wayne kicking Lex Luthor, which looks totally badass.
It's just, there's no words, it's just Bruce Wayne jumping up, kicking Lex Luthor. But it kind of looks like if you remove if you cover up Alfred and Lex Luthor, it kind of looks like Bruce Wayne's kind of doing like a dance move. Kind of.
Hey,
Wait a minute,
this is the Batman, well, not the Batman that done the Batusi, so this man has got style, he's got moves, he's got the groove.
He's
He's got the funk.
He is efficient in the Ramba, the Venetian Waltz, and the Salsa.
Because when a man goes to like achieve physical perfection, it's nice to have a few hobbies along the way.
Aye.
Why not?
And in his spare time, he also does the Rumba.
How do you think he gets all the women, man? Like, we should have known.
He's got money. Like Bryan Singer, apparently. Allegedly.
So what we're saying is Bruce Wayne pays.
He could. He has that ability to.
Allegedly, so was Bryan Singer.
Well, I think we should move on before
Yes.
we get into other...
Yeah, so the tagline of the title as well, power. There's a new power ring from the crime syndicate. The new power ring, save the world or destroy it. It's kind of interesting that this is the only active character from Earth 3 crime syndicate still left in the current DCU.
I've not read Forever Evil, but I know how Jordan... Well, Earth 3, how Jordan dies, but his power ring, it's not like the power rings of the Earth 1 Green Lantern Corps.
Yes.
It's sort of like... It's kind of like a symbiote and a celestial ring.
Kind of like a god almost. I
Aye.
think there's reference to that during Forever Evil.
Because isn't how Jordan? He's not well for it. He's petrified of this ring, and it's on him, and we see it's kind of like a sort of like his arms, sort of like all veiny and sort of not veiny.
Almost
like,
as if it's sapping his energy.
It's like it's sapping his energy, and he's terrified of it. So maybe it's sort of like the symbiotes from Spider-Man and a Sinestro in the shape of a ring, and then it flies off. So maybe the ring was corrupted by Hal Jordan because he was scared of it, or maybe it's just an evil ring, and when this new power ring she gets it, she's going to overcome it and use it to her advantage, but at the same time still trying to fight it.
Yeah, you make a quite interesting point about that. There's not much known about it other than the Justice League title throughout Forever Evil and Forever Evil, so maybe we'll see some character development over the next couple of issues, and maybe that's where they're going with the tagline. Will she save the world or destroy it? Will they try and turn her into a hero of some sorts or something? We're still to see that.
Is that Shazam? Sorry about that, but is this Shazam and Cyborg about to play ping pong?
Yes, I was about to get on at this very scene in the comic. Shazam's sitting there bored on watch while Cyborg's in the watchtower, and he goes, "Oh, have you got a ping pong table?" And I'm like, no. But Aquaman did want a pool, but we couldn't. And he's like, "Oh, do you have an Xbox?" And Cyborg turns and goes, "There's one on my left shoulder." And he's like, "Cool." So they're trying to help locate the power ring. So Shazam goes, "Powers of Shazam, show me what I want for the Justice League. Alakazam!" Lightning strikes, and a Shazam-styled ping pong table just appears. So he goes to Cyborg. We might as well play it since it's here.
That is fantastic. And I think, see, Cyborg, last time I read a Justice League comic, he was quite bulky. And then
Yes, he's got a new
aye,
suit.
He got his like body ripped apart, and then he got grid. Is this who gave him that body? Did he make himself, or did Batman and Star Labs have a hand in it?
I've read a lot over the last while, and I think it's more of a Star Labs independent. I think it was a prototype technology or a older suit that they used that was disconnected from all technology because Grid could take over it. I can't remember. But also in this title, Captain Cold is loved by security guards, and he makes a point of saying, "Oh, usually I'd be running away from them, not taking a picture with them." It'll be good to see the development of a character that's been a long time villain in the old DCU and a little bit in the current New 52 turn to a hero.
Yeah. One thing I was gutted about Captain Cold was when they reintroduced him into the Flash, he was able to control ice, sort of like his arms were all frozen over, kind of like Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat.
Yes, he's got a gun now.
He's
got his gun. I don't understand. I've not read much of the Flash, so I can't say.
Like I said, I've not read it. I've only read what I've seen on there. But apparently, it's like his DNA was bonded to the gun. But James has something thoughts on it because he's looking at it right now. What is it?
The Doom Patrol.
Yes.
Yes, evidently they're back. And they're here to help.
Yes, that's the thing. Are they here to help, or are they there to use Power Ring for their needs? I'm not familiar with the Doom Patrol, so I can't really say.
I can say Power Ring's costume sort of looks a lot like Alan Scott from Earth 2.
Yes, it does.
So maybe that Power Ring is sort of their version of the Starheart from Earth 2.
Yes,
maybe?
Possibly. It's a new character that we'll explore over the next couple of issues,
Yes.
and something that we'll explore now all together is the Guardians of the Galaxy issue 16.
At last, in this current story arc, an issue that did not disappoint. I'm quite happy with it. Captain Marvel, after 3 issues of apparently ENTs that she's going to show up, finally shows up.
So does that mean that we'll get to see Richard Rider sometime at Christmas then?
Probably. By the way, Brian Michael Bendis seems to be doing it.
I love Brian Michael Bendis' writing. He's a phenomenal writer in this. Obviously, this story, it's building towards something, so it's slowly gathering a bit of steam, getting going. There was no doubt in my mind that Captain Marvel would swoop in and save the day for Star-Lord.
I know, it was fantastic though. One thing that does bug me, only a little bit, is that he's constantly changing artists in these issues. Like, you've got the one guy, what's his name, something Bradshaw.
Nick Bradshaw.
Nick Bradshaw, and then you're in the middle reading it, and then all of a sudden it will just change to a much more
Kind of
realistic-
child.
First it's all childlike, and it's all funny because he's keeping in tone with it, and then it switches to this sort of realistic art style. I'm thinking, that just takes me out of it. I'd rather have a story arc with one artist rather than one story arc with 2 different artists.
There's actually 3 artists on this, but Nick Bradshaw is a penciler. We've got Nick Bradshaw, David Marquez, and Jason Masters on art. I don't know if on the second page it tells you that Nick Bradshaw is a penciler, so it's, I don't know if he's got 2 different styles of drawing or if it's one of the other artists. Anyone take a look?
It says here, pencils and ink, Mike Bradshaw, David Marquez, and Jason Masters. So I think David Marquez will be the second artist, and then Jason Masters will be the inker. Or maybe maybe they share that sort of duties.
What I did like with the issue, the reason why Star-Lord jumped out the window, Captain Marvel goes to him, but you jumped out the window, and Star-Lord goes back, I saw you at the corner of my eye. She was flying through space, come on people.
Then but maybe that's just part of the Peter Quill charm. Maybe he doesn't see, he's not that sort of, he's sort of like Han Solo in a way. Like, he sort of does, he acts and then thinks on what he's going to do there. So he acts before, he jumps before he thinks, quite literally. So maybe that was just a little bit of charm he was throwing at her. And then he immediately asks her to marry him, which I think is fantastic. It's right up there with, the hugging it out and sweet, I've got a space crush. I think that's really...
What I really liked was there's another character with daddy issues, Star-Lord, just pulling a gun, and while the stream of Star-Lord being arrested is on him and his father, he's airing all the dirty laundry that his dad of splitting up the Guardians and sending them to certain other groups throughout the universe. And it's absolutely incredible that there could be some kind of revolution now to the Spartax Empire, with some civilians saying death to the Emperor after Star-Lord and Captain Marvel leave. So is there going to be a bit of feuding now? Is the Spartax Empire going to see a little bit of a crumbling
I
now?
think that would be awesome, like to see sort of like a galactic civil war in the midst of like the Spartax Empire, because didn't Shi'ar Empire at some point
Yes.
get fractured and separated, and they were taken over by the Kree?
Yes.
I think
the Inhumans took over the Kree, and it was Vulcan, Scott Summers' brother Cyclops, that took over.
It was the Kree that was fractured, and then the
Inhumans
took over it. Jamie remembers.
Yeah, Jamie remembers Inhumans.
Inhumans take over, so I think we might see something like that. Because I don't think Peter Quill will become the Emperor of Spartax. Maybe he will down the line, and then that'll sort of, he'll leave the Guardians and stay in his own solo title for a while, and then he'll come back. It's like, I'm quite interested. Another thing, the Supreme Intelligence. Why did he have Rocket Raccoon?
That was a deal with the Spartax to operate on him, and just after Star-Lord revealing this, the Supreme Intelligence says to put the specimen back together. So I think, once the Guardians get back together, Rocket is going to be absolutely furious. Any mission that comes up dealing with a Kree, gun to the head, bullet, done.
That's quite an interesting theory. A theory that could lead into a lot of other things. Maybe Rocket's searching for a dead man. Maybe it's a theory of a dead man, if you may.
Oh, Captain of Bad Segways goes to Jamie this week.
I said I was going to do segues. Didn't say they were going to be good.
That's Theory of a Dead Man and Bad Girlfriend.
My girl tries to shake her head. She climbs into the beat. She likes to pull my hair when I make her grind her teeth. I like to strip her down. She's not into the end. You know what she is. No doubt about it. She's a bad, bad girlfriend. She's a bad, bad girlfriend. She's a bad, bad girlfriend.
And that is how you do a bad segue, Alan. I'm sorry. Jamie's taking command over the segues, which I hold my hands up. I'm not to blame here.
That's a lie. You left that segue right open.
On a scale of
Any-
Howard the Duck,
And Brian Singer.
Brian Singer, what would you say he was?
I would say that's Brian Singer level.
Oh, it's not that bad. It's not. You know, funny business to people. That's a.
Anyway,
From something bad on the level of Brian Singer allegedly bad to something Dan Slott good. Amazing Spider-Man issue 3. James, fire away.
fantastic issue actually. It's really from Black Cat's point of view, as you know, Felicia Hardy is not okay with what Doc Ock did.
Yeah.
She is very unhappy, and now that Peter Parker's back, he thinks everything's fine. Obviously, on the realisation of coming back to a company that he never built
And a doctorate that he never had.
and a doctorate he never got, Peter's enjoying, you know, his life and his company, but everyone who works for him thinks he's evil.
Yeah, I love that his employees think that he's bipolar and stuff. It's
it's
quite
like-
interesting. It's really funny. He comes in wearing a Hawaiian shirt and he's like, "Hey, casual Friday, anyone?" And they're kind of nervous around him.
It's
you
not
know?
even the fact that they're nervous. It's like I genuinely think they think that he's lying to them because they're all in genuine fear. They're like, "What is this guy doing? Like, this isn't the guy that is our boss." And naturally, you know, it wouldn't be a Spider-Man comic if JJ wasn't in it.
Yes, the return of JJJ, John Jonason, Jameson Jr.
Don't hurt yourself,
sorry.
Manny. Don't hurt yourself.
I'll just hurt you with Howard the Duck. I'll
He's-
pick him up by his
he's-
little webbed feet and smack him around.
Is this before or after Brian Singer's finished with him?
He's mayor, yeah.
After.
Mayor, yeah.
He was a mayor.
So
He
MJ,
resigned.
JJ.
His father is JJ John Jonah Jameson. He's junior. That's what I was trying to get out. I got myself muddled. There's too many J's, Marvel. There's too many J's.
Too many J's. Too many
The-
genetic names.
There is too many J's in here right now. We've got a Jamie and a James. You know?
We can't all have exotic names like Mario.
I know. Sorry, people.
Really, the end of the issue. Well, you know, obviously you get your odd cameos. Electro.
Yes,
he's there.
Electro's in the previous issues in the new Amazing. He's if you've read the Superior Spider-Man team up, I think it was team up. Dr. Octopus gathered his old Sinister Six villains to turn them into the Superior Six and use mind implants to mind control them to do good. Unfortunately, this has backfired on a grand scale, as Electro's already killed someone by accident, and he's burned a building down. So
He's now living in a homeless shelter.
yeah,
Not even a homeless shelter, an abandoned building that homeless people just use. But yeah, the overall ending of the comic really is Spider-Man having a fight with Black Cat, where for the briefest 2 minutes he pretends he's still Dr. Otto Octavius.
That was absolutely fantastic. I loved that. I was actually fooled myself for a minor moment. I was like, no, this can't be right. Double turn Dan Slott. Don't annoy fans again. Come on.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. Like it just shows you that Peter Parker's back to being the quick-witted boy that he is, and you know the fact that he convinced Black Cat that he was someone who he wasn't is just genius, and I wasn't really expecting it. The comic really just ends with, as you know,
Electro and Black Cat.
Black Cat going to Electro and saying we're gonna do Spider-Man, and it's gonna be great fun. But it's, you know, you have that thing as well, because for a brief minute she's like, is he really a different person? Like,
Yeah.
I see the Peter that I knew, sort of thing. And obviously that's good because she's got the side of the story. She doesn't know anything. She doesn't know what happened.
Yeah,
to
she's
Peter.
been outside of Peter's bubble. Usually she's been a character that stays rather close to him, gets jiggy with him. Gets jiggy with Spider-Man, not Peter. That was one of her things. She was kind of turned off by Spider-Man, but she liked the risk and stuff of Spider-Man, you know.
So I think you got that.
Yeah. Just kill me now.
She's a bit turned off by Peter.
Yes.
Which, let's be honest, depending on which Peter Parker we're
Well,
talking about, you know.
yeah, depending what era you go for.
I think the saddest thing really is, you know, how Electro's feeling. You know, by the end, Electro's just he can't.
He is guilty from killing someone that he knew accidentally because his powers were on the fritz, and now he's burned down a building. He can't meet people in case he kills them. He can't sleep anywhere in case he burns it up.
So
It's
I think he's getting the whole point now where he's like, does he really want his powers? Because, you know, you'll get people who like Flash Thompson. You know, he quite enjoys being Venom. You know, it's like you get villains that, you know, normally quite enjoy it, but Electro's at this point now where he's just like, nope, can't do it. I won't do it.
well, someone who's kind of like, no, I can't do it, I won't do it. Someone did do it. Someone created the Hulk.
Who wants to bring?
Original Sins issue
3.1.
Hulk versus Iron Man, which is issue 3.1 is the tagline. It's has anyone hated Tony Stark as much as they have right now?
Well, I mean,
Barring Civil War.
Should we fill them in on what happened first?
Yes, take away.
Tony Stark sabotaged the bomb that created the Hulk, thereby, through those actions, created the jolly green Goliath that we all love to hate sometimes.
Jolly?
Possibly, maybe.
I don't remember him being jolly.
Hulk's always jolly. Have you ever heard him when he wants to smash
Have
something?
you not
Happiest
seen
man.
it? He's not trying to smash people, he's just trying to hug them.
Hulk misunderstood.
It was quite interesting to see a little bit at the start, Hulk punching Iron Man, and he's flying through a couple buildings as a chum in a womb. Gotta love those. And also we've got Smart Hulk, now, which is an interesting
I
point.
think that was quite a big shock
Yeah.
because you got Tony, he's like, okay, he's going to run at me, I've got these gamma bomb things, I'll slice his skin. And then he's like, wait, where is he? This is usually by the time he's like, Hulk smash. Hulk just jumps over and says, I'm not going to fall for your traps. And you're like, oh, something's happening.
Tony's just like, oh no, man. This was like my backup plan. I don't have another backup.
I kind of like how he kind of just looks and says, okay, what he's about to do now, I deserve. And he's just got a tear. It's like, suck it up, you deserve this. Take it like a man.
No, it's not even that. It's because before you know, you're just like, you're sitting there going, oh no, Tony. And then by the end, you're like, that's good. I'm happy that happened.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You see the origin of the gamma bomb. Tony Stark and Banner, Bruce Banner, they're kind of Bruce Banner's selling the idea of the gamma bomb, and Tony's just like, oh, you're holding back the potential of making this a bomb. And he's like, oh, I'm trying to make good with it. I'm trying to use it, gamma radiation, to heal people and stuff. And Tony Stark's just like, yeah, well, these people pay good money for weapons. This is the backbone of...
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it doesn't help that Tony's proper building up Thunderbolt Ross. He's getting Ross on his side just intimidates Banner. It always has. And, you know, it doesn't help with that concept as well because Ross frightens me. I hate Ross so much.
Take it you don't like Rolk then?
No. He just... Well, I like, you know, Red Hulk. It's just... Ross as... in his human form is just an intimidating person anyway. So it's like... Yeah.
I think Red Hulk would be much more intimidating if he kept the mustache. Seriously, where does that thing go? He's normal, he's just human form, he's an intimidating man, buzz cut, mustache. Hulk's out, he gets like a stylish hairdo and no mustache.
I think maybe as a Hulk as his body grows, his skin grows and it covers the mustache. So maybe he's got like slight 5 o'clock shadow with the Hulk skin, you know.
Mario, I don't want to be rude, but even for a comic, that
No
sounds
prize award. That was a no prize award right there, Marvel. Come on.
Sounds pretty stupid.
Hey, that's what the no prize award's all about. Stupidity at its finest.
Now that you
Oh,
said
now we
that-
know why Howard the Duck was created.
No, Howard the Duck was an abomination. And I don't mean the Hulk's abomination. But, carrying on from the story, Banner, well, the Hulk and Tony Stark get each other's memories due to the Watcher's Eye bomb going off in issue 2, end of issue 2, of Original Sin. And then, this is a little prelude to everything. Bruce Banner breaks into a basement and then he has a flashback of Tony Stark with a soldering torch and stuff, just messing around with the gamma bomb. And then he picks up a glass and he's saying, "Nor do I drink." And he sees Stark's reflection in, what is it?
Whiskey.
Vodka.
That's brown vodka.
I know, that's rather disturbing, Marvel. Come on.
It's like,
Know your alcohol, Marvel. Come on.
if you see here, well, the listeners can't see it. You see the pitch. You actually see the reflection of Tony Stark in the glass. What bugs me is Tony Stark is so vain. He looks at himself in his glass and smiles. He checks himself out. That is just the epitome of a vain person.
Yes.
Just sitting there with his glass going, yeah, I look perfect. Have another drink.
I am one good-looking weapons dealer.
Down a shot for every time you think you look good.
I would be drunk right now
So
if that was the
So does
case.
that mean, like, by the end of the issue, he wakes up from being knocked out by the Hulk and says, "Where the hell am I?"
Segue. Song.
Oh, sick.
Segue. Yes.
Oh, segue.
Yes.
You see, now you've put us on the spot. We can't think of a good segue.
Well, all I can say is
All we can say is
Tony-
he's not a very good chemist, but you know who does have good chemistry? My Chemical
Oh
Romance.
no!
There's a bad
And that's
segue.
My Chemical Romance with Na Na Na.
Look alive, sunshine. 109 in the sky, but the pigs won't quit. You're here with me, Dr. Death Defying. I'll be your surgeon, your proctor, your helicopter, pumping out the slaughtermatic sounds to keep you live. A system failure for the masses, antimatter for the master plan. Louder than God's revolver and twice as shiny. This one's for all you rock and rollers, all you crash queens and motor babies. Listen up! The future is bulletproof. The aftermath is secondary. It's time to do it now and do it loud. Killjoys, make some noise. Gimme, gotta lead it by yourself. What you got? Take the cash and
keep running.
Connecting the Campsie communities.
This is Eastern Bartonshire Radio.
Today, live from 4, the Big Glasgow Comic Show.
Michelangelo has like sofa tattoos. Leonardo.
Who tattooed a turtle?
I don't.
On Mixcloud.
Through the seasons with Susie Kennedy. Join me and my other half Pete, where we talk about the spring equinox and aspects of Easter and its increasing commercialisation.
Mixcloud.com/ED Radio.
Down on your knees, you don't look so tall. Down on your knees, you don't look so tall. Cracking the whip on the backs of the pole. We'll ask you to stop, but you still wanted more. The blood on your hands left a trail as you crawl. Down on your knees, you just don't look so tall. You don't look so tall. Open your eyes and the empire falls.
And we're back. The first song there, My Chemical Romance, Na Na Na, was requested by our James here in the studio today. Billy Talent was there with Viking Death March, and that was requested by my other half, the better half of us. Love ya.
Now
Love
someone's
ya.
got an apology to make.
Yeah. Yeah, someone's got to make a declaration of love towards Howard the Duck and an apology. Jamie.
I seriously think you underestimate how much I don't particularly like Howard the Duck. I said that as a joke twice.
You're not apologising.
I'm getting to the apology.
Get quicker.
I'm sorry for the bad segue.
No. A bad segue is what I do. I'm known for that. That was a completely
poor, terrible, unorthodox and unethical segue.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
James, that's mean.
I can't repeat it. Now, if you don't apologise and mean it to this lovely audience that are listening to us, I'm going to go out there, get that Legacy of Superman comic and burn that in this studio.
Oh.
No, please don't.
Well, then you'll be doing yourself out of money.
I'll live. It'll be worth it.
Just to see Superman burning. Some people just want to see Superman burn.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
That's why I stole that there. On to news, people. And what bigger news have we got this week other than the Flash pilot being leaked online? I'm sure everyone here in the studio has watched it. Karen, have you watched it yourself?
No, not yet.
Oh, you haven't? Oh!
Can't
We're sorry, but we're going to have to spoil it for you. It was a rather big surprise this week. One of the admins, Liam, found it on some website, and I've not watched any Arrow. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Matt. But I'm going to have to catch up now in time for Flash coming out.
Well, nothing I can say, but it was just fantastic. It really was. Should we just start off with the big Easter egg? Or should we go down the line?
We'll go start from start to finish.
The first one that I saw, and I think it's probably the first one in it, is Gorilla Grodd's age.
Yeah, you missed Reverse Flash right at the start, which isn't really much of an Easter egg because that's more of his origin story.
I don't think you know what an Easter egg is, Mario.
Hey, I know what Easter eggs are. Okay, can't you tell?
It shows you.
I've got more cushion than the Perrys.
Bet Brian Singer likes that.
Nah, Brian Singer likes someone more like our James and Matt.
I wouldn't.
Allegedly.
Sorry,
allegedly likes someone round James and Matt. Just saying. Anyway, back onto Flash.
Well, it's not really an Easter egg because you see him running around in circles. Though you do see him for his face was kind of blurred later on in the episode. But I think out of all the Easter eggs, Gorilla Grodd is the first one you see. And I'm going to be quite interested in that. I think this is DC saying, like, even though they're not going to give you a Wonder Woman movie anytime soon, they're going to give you an angry cocking gorilla on the TV. So I don't know why DC will think, okay, audiences aren't ready for a Wonder Woman movie, but here's a talking gorilla.
If it works, it works. It's TV, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
you've got reality TV shows. I do quotation marks there, and that seems to work.
They call
somehow.
that filth a TV show, or in any case, say it's reality. It's just it's an overstatement.
So,
the Batman,
the Flash.
Oh, the
Flash. We're still talking about the Flash. We haven't spoiled it for everyone yet. Come on.
Oh, okay, we won't. Okay, right. Right. Well, I suppose maybe. First, I'll point out that I don't actually like the Flash, but the pilot was so good it made me like the Flash.
Very nice. That's what they want.
The pilot was really.
The special effects were incredible.
Yeah, for a TV show, yeah, they were proper movie like. The villain as well. Was it Clive? Something.
I'm not sure.
Can't remember his name. Bank robber.
Yes.
Died in an aeroplane crash. Who can control the weather?
Yes.
All forms of weather.
Crypto freaks all over again for the Flash. I think this is what we'll be expecting for a first season or two, for villains wise, before they introduce big names.
Well, yeah, they did state metahumans.
Yes,
so your doors open everywhere.
Yes, it is indeed. What I did like was the Flash's lightning quick abs, and how can I sign up for this? He's got a bolt of lightning to his chest, and now he's got a 6-pack. I'm wanting in on that.
I like
DC,
that
here's some money. Make it happen.
I like that because see when stuff like that happens, they just don't question. It's like, okay, like the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie, Peter Parker gets bit by a
genetically altered spider.
A spider.
Jamie remembers a Spider-Man.
Shut up. He gets bit by a genetically altered spider, and he next day he wakes up and he's ripped. He's got abs and all that, and he kind of just like says, "All right, I'm hot," and then just walks out the door. But here we have the Flash, and he's like, "Well, hold on a minute. I'm seriously questioning why have I got abs? I've been in a coma for 9 months. I should be a stick."
I would love to know.
The way I am.
I would love to know who's been making ideal use with my body. I'd like to thank them personally, and I'd like them to continue doing it when I sleep. Now,
oh, don't go down that road. Come on.
Here, it looked like that. Just saying.
For 9 months.
9 months he's been asleep. Who gets put in a coma for 9 months and wakes up like with a six-pack and everything and doesn't go, I like that, quite fancy.
Something's changed.
It's Tony Stark with the whiskey. That's what it is. Just looks at itself like, oh yeah,
vodka.
I'm hot.
Even though it looks like whiskey or bourbon, but it's vodka.
It's spelled with a C, so it's not vodka.
I know.
Another Easter egg is not so much an Easter egg, is the abandoned Ferris airstrip.
Yes, where they test his limits. Yeah. I like that.
I think that. Do you think that's sort of like a?
It's a big Easter egg towards, as you know, Green Lantern and Flash are friends in the comics. Would they bring Green Lantern into the series? I'm hoping so, because they've already got Green Arrow's show and brought in some characters that way.
I'm slightly questionable on, because obviously, you've got Arrow, you've got the Flash now. I genuinely think that DC are trying to push for something a bit questionable in the sense of they've got the films, you've got Man of Steel and you've got Batman and you've got other things as well that are coming out and they're leading up to the Justice League. I don't know if DC are either trying to push two different types of Justice League, a TV Justice League and a film Justice League, but then they would have to, do Superman again, and will these characters for the TV shows go over to the films, because the characters that play them in the shows are good. Then
again, they haven't, with the Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Where's the S? Come on, Hulk vs Iron Man had that S there, versus, not a V. DC, take that.
I think DC, I think if they are pushing the Justice League movies, for Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck and all that, you might not be able to get Ben Affleck, but see if you have Henry Cavill come in as Arrow, in Arrow, or the Flash as just Clark Kent, and then he doesn't suit up and reveal him Superman, he just does little things. I think that would be pretty cool, because that's a nod to it. You're not having him do anything.
Those are two characters that have yet to be cast in that abomination title of a movie. It would be quite interesting if they managed to grab those two actors and brought them in. They're fairly young, I think they would go well with who's already been cast in that team.
Then you've got the argument as well. But Batman's always been older than the team, and Superman, God knows how old he is, right? But it's the whole idea of to be honest, if Ben Affleck didn't want to be in the TV shows, then he's just affirming people not to like him. So it's I think it'd be good, see it all come together in a sense. And let's be honest, we're going to eventually tell them Wayne exists in this universe.
He does. Let's jump to that big spoiler right at the end. Everyone else freaked out over it. At the end, the guy in a wheelchair, I'm not very sure on his name.
Can't remember who it was. Wheelchair Man.
Yes. Who's helped the Flash throughout this episode with some stuff. He stands up in this sealed room, clicks a button, and a hologram of a paper from April 25th, 2024. And the headline is Flash Missing Vanishes in Crisis. Main word there, crisis. And then you look down to the bottom of the newspaper, red skies vanish. Is this a nod towards the initial crisis where Barry Allen dies? And will we possibly see that? Because I don't like being teased. That is one thing I've said constantly on here. I do not like being teased. I like the satisfaction, much like some alleged movie directors.
Oh, Bryan Singer has been getting a slag.
Allegedly.
Not
allegedly.
I had to carefully choose my words there.
Yeah, I was hoping that you didn't get that wrong there.
Yeah, otherwise I would have been the face of another meme and more.
Don't worry, you'll be a meme every week as long as you're here.
But Wayne
Matt,
and
please come back.
Wayne and Queen merger.
Yes, the Wayne and Queen merger, which is something name dropping Wayne as well. Will we eventually see Bruce Wayne / Batman in a TV show? They couldn't do it for some legal reason during Smallville, yet they managed to introduce Cyborg, the Flash, Green Arrow, and then members of the Justice Society later on in the show, Blue Beetle as well.
Shot in the dark. Gotham, the origin, which will end when Bruce Wayne becomes Batman.
Could that possibly
lead
tie in?
I'd like it to happen, but in America, Flash and Arrow are on CW.
Yes, they are.
And
it's
Gotham,
on Fox, is it not?
Gotham is on Fox, but hopefully this is one of those things where it's like, even though they're two different shows, they do cross over. Like,
I'm
see
sure
the
it's
actor
happened
that
before.
plays.
It possibly has.
See the actor that plays his dad, Flash's dad.
Yes.
Maybe have him come in and be like a physician or something. Like, oh, who's this? This is one of your father's old friends from.
Or have Oliver Queen's parents
Aye.
with a baby queen, that would be quite interesting.
You could have, like, Flash's dad be like a very young intern or something. Like, he was such a brilliant doctor. He's like 13, he's an intern. I mean, something like that. But I have Oliver Queen's parents come in, and then that way you've tied Arrow, you've tied Flash, you've tied everything together, and then at the end of it, Gotham will probably see like Ben Affleck or something.
What if Gotham's on a different TV show, but who's to say that another channel won't pick up a continuation of it? Because Gotham does end when Bruce Wayne becomes old enough to become Batman.
Yes.
Or when he goes away to, wherever he goes to train and become God. But, yeah, it doesn't mean to say when that show finishes, another TV channel will not pick up a continuated feature of that show. So...
Well... It's one of those things, we're dealing with what ifs, we're not dealing with facts, which we'd love. And a fact of the matter is that Jamie is not doing this segue. He's not allowed because he's in a glass house and that glass ceiling could collapse at any moment if he throws another rock segue up at it. And want to know who's in a glass castle though? Linkin Park.
Take me down to the river bend. Take me down to the fighting end. Wash the poison from off my skin. Show me how to be whole again. Fly me up on a silver wing, past the black where the sirens sing. Warm me up in a nova's glow, and drop me down to the dream below. 'Cause 'cause I'm only a crack in this castle of glass. Hardly anything there for you to see, for you to see. Bring me home in a blinding dream, through the secrets that I've seen. Wash the sorrow from off my skin, and show me how to be whole again. 'Cause I'm only a crack in this castle of glass. Hardly anything there for you to see, for you to see. 'Cause I'm only a crack in this castle of glass. Hardly anything else I need to be. 'Cause I'm only a crack in this castle of glass. Hardly anything there for you to see, for you to see. For you to see.
And that song was for Paul Richardson, one of the admins of the page. Thank you, Paul. I think someone's got another apology. We're going to drive this through the rest of the show. Sorry, guys.
Really, you're going to make me do this again?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
The
Yes,
most
there's two of us,
apathetic,
there's one of you.
unoriginal, Unoriginal, most
Yeah, but I'm taller than both of you two combined, so technically I'm three
abysmally
people.
bad segue.
Bring it.
Yeah, we all know how bad it was.
Sorry, I'm not listening because you've not apologised
Anyway,
yet.
I think we should, not a bit of news, not movie related or anything, but another bit. Dan Abnett returns to Marvel to
Yes.
write a new Guardians comic.
Yes, Guardians 3000.
Bringing back. Are you going to repeat everything I'm saying?
I'm your shadow from now on.
Bringing back the original team of Vance Astro, Yondo Starhawk,
Dear God.
Jeez, how do you say that? That one.
Did you just say much cheese?
Martin X.
And Charlie 27. The art will be done by Gredado Sandoval.
Ice.
Ice.
Aye. And the comic comes out in October. Personally, I'm looking forward to this because Dan Abnett did the Guardians 3000 backup in the 100th anniversary issue.
Yes, he did.
And this comic continues on from that.
Yeah.
So that's going to be pretty awesome, I think.
Well, they did say that that there's a problem in the past, so they will have to go back in time. So will we see a Guardians v Guardians? Kind of
So it's
cool.
going to be like Captain
I'm
Major Victory says, "Oh, dude, remember Annihilation? Aye, that was not sweet. Let's not do that again."
Oh, remember when that happened? No. No.
Jamie remembers
days.
Annihilation.
Another tiny rumor, not very big. There's a rumor circulating about the Deadpool movie. Apparently, at San Diego Comic Con this year, there's going to be a teaser trailer for the Deadpool movie. And to add some more onto that, Ryan Reynolds has apparently left the project.
Ooh.
So if
Oh,
they
that's
do release
no
a
bad then.
if they do release a teaser, stop
Well-
stroking your arm. Stop it. Just
For anyone that
Come
doesn't
on.
know Mario, he has Ryan Reynolds tattooed on his arm.
yes.
Yeah, so point out Scarlett Johansson, I can totally put her off.
As the as
Which
the
I wouldn't want to
Remember your
do.
ex-husband? Well, I do.
I'll just get a highlighter, a black marker, and just rub it out, and I'll be like, Pretend he's not there.
It's not
Hello,
even
Scarlet.
I think it would be forgivable if it was just Ryan Reynolds, but it's the fact that it's Ryan Reynolds as the Green Lantern.
Yes.
Like,
I actually liked the movie, just not his hair or the mask.
I want to be profusely sick all over your arm. I'm sorry.
Okay, moving on. Another thing is a little bit of rumour. The Pacific Rim sequel has been set for April 7th, 2017, and from that, they're trying to branch out the franchise. There's also an animated series based off it in the works, and they're also going to try and have more comics released. And a quote from the director, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name.
But there was a director, Bryan Singer, by any chance? Because that sounds like his movie.
Don't soil Pacific Rim for me. Don't.
Del Toro.
Mario Del Toro, to quote him, more kaijus, more Jaegers kicking each other's ass.
Because Jaegers are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just going to be a basically rehashed sequel. They made 3/4 of their money throughout overseas market, so it didn't do really well in America.
I don't know how far you can push a plot as giant robots punching giant monsters. If you go into that movie thinking, I want a very deep character-driven story,
Well,
watch this. Go in and just let your inner child just out. Nowhere near Bryan Singer, mind you.
I think more
Allegedly.
I think more people would watch Pacific Rim if they brought in Godzilla as a guest star.
A little movie crossover.
And we all know Godzilla would win.
Easy. So something that wasn't easy to do was rogue scenes getting cut from Days of Future Past, but we might have some hope out there. The podcast, the Q&A, let me see. Jeff Goldsmith was asked by asked writer Simon Kinberg of Days of Future Past if we were ever going to see these scenes added to the Blu-ray release whenever that's out. His reply was, okay, good. Does that mean that we're getting them? Does that mean that we might see all these scenes as a kind of like Hail to the King on Thor 2?
The Dark World.
Yes. Are we going to see some kind of like short, just put those scenes together separately, or will we see a uncut edition? Because apparently there was a fair bit cut from the movie.
I think I'd quite like them to release a director's cut with everything, because to have just those scenes in sort of like a short movie form wouldn't make much sense, because I think Rogue scenes, she was supposed to be working with the X-Men. So
I think so.
Work with them.
I think she was trying to break someone out. I'm not too sure on the plot.
Because originally when, Days of Future's Past was coming out, I thought that the Sentinels were running off Rogue's powers, and that's why she wasn't in the future. Then I went and seen it and realised it was Mystique.
Yes.
There was really no reason to cut her out other than the fact that her scenes apparently slowed it down. But I didn't like that because, at the start of the film, you got a glimpse of the future, which was like 20 minutes, and the rest of the film was really in the past. It would have been good to go back to the future and see, some detailed story behind it, because you really only see them in like cutaways getting ready to fight the Sentinels, which I felt the future scenes were just pointless. They really didn't have much of a right to call it a big blockbuster with Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart when they were really only in it for a total of 10 minutes when you think about it.
It was a good movie, and you're kind of right about the future scenes, but those fight scenes between Sentinels were just amazing. You can't, they were
what fans had wanted all along.
And see, truth be told, I've never found the threat, like the Sentinels, that much of a big threat. I mean, they're giant purple and pink robots with a dead face. And especially looking back in the movie, old cartoons here, I never thought they were that much of a threat. But Days of Future Past, they made them menacing, like actual proper things. Like, I think they're scarier than the Terminators.
Oh.
I mean, I will stand by that.
One thing I
apologise for the bag segue. I will not apologise for this.
One thing that I'd missed from the movie was when you're reading the comics, mutant detected. They would have this kind of robotic voice. Nothing was like that was said, and if there was, it was very quiet. So,
What's this? The Sentinels?
Yes, the Sentinels. It's just when they're scanning around, it's like mutant detected. Like I was expecting that to be said in the end scenes where Wolverine, Magneto, Beast, and all that were fighting in the stadium.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the same as well, because my partner's a massive X-Men fan. That's favourite, just be all and end all. And yeah, there was like things where he was watching it, and you know, there was things that he felt were missing, but you know, he still could admit that it was overall an amazing film. He just felt that the little details would have made it perfect. And
Indeed.
like you say, it's like the Sentinels didn't speak, they didn't have a voice, they only had like indicators that told them where they were. So it was like the Sentinels were literally just lifeless.
Plus, Bishop, wasn't his role downgraded a bit? Because
yes, severely,
massively.
Well, I liked I liked the explanation they gave for the M, because it's the same in comics. Like, if you're a mutant, you're marked with an M, but it's severely underplayed in it.
Again as well, it's like there was the whole thing. You know, Bishop was really the one that kind of went back, and you've got in the comic it's Kitty Pryde that goes back. So you've got like different variations of it, and I suppose it's just finding one that, you know, really appeals to everyone. And yeah, we can't take away the fact that it was probably one of the best. Probably the best of all the films.
Easily the best.
So it's like Apocalypse has a lot to live up to, which
it will work. I think with the change of First Class and going into Days of Future Past, the build up for Days was kind of overshadowed by the release of Apocalypse being in the third movie, in the title of the third movie. And people were saying, oh, why are they really talking all about this? They should be talking about Days, which I completely agree with, but as you see with other things, things get leaked out, so maybe they were jumping the gun before something was leaked. It's rather dangerous with so much media these days, covering everything, and they're looking for a new headline, so for them just to go, oh, there you go, that's the villain, that's the title,
deal.
Happy, be happy. And let me just draw a line in the sand right there for the next song, which is Motorhead, Line in the Sand.
Chains that no one sees. Clock makes a
apologise is going round the studio today, and James made us fact. I pointed out the fact that Jamie did not apologise the second time. He battered around edges, but he never actually went there.
And Jamie, it's starting to.
Okay. I will apologise. I am sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, sorry that Mario is not moving on with the show. Come on, Mario.
Oh, come on.
Because you forgot to mention one thing, and that is the big Glasgow Comic Mart is happening right now. Up
The
at Buff
ultimate
Club.
comic mart.
The ultimate comic mart. You've got 20 minutes to go down to and spend all your money. If not, you can head down to the Buff Club tomorrow. And it's at
11 till 6 tomorrow again.
Jamie remembers again. Right, it's at 11 to 6. Bring all your money.
Bring all your
buy
friends.
everything. Just buy everything. It helps out. You get
Buy anything. Bring your friends if you've got them, and most certainly bring your family and the kids.
And if you don't have any friends, it's okay to fly solo. There's lots of friendly faces on the Big Glasgow Comic page. Just come up to us, say hello. You can see us by our red shirts and yellow writing, which Fuzz, well done. Liam, I think, had done the art for that, but Fuzz ponied up the cash.
And if you look really hard, you might see Mario trying to get that apology out of me.
I'll be beating out you later, don't worry. And something that we didn't have to beat around was the Supernatural season premiere. Ooh. Season 10. Jared Padalecki, who goes by Jarpad on Twitter, who plays Sam Winchester in the show. If you don't know, shame on you people. He tweeted, "Clear your calendars, October 7th, the Winchesters are back in action. Don't make me come get you." See, on that alone, I can see a lot of little fangirls not watching it, just to see him busting through their door, being like, "Hey,
come at me."
I think he'll do that for then after like 1 or 2. Can just burst through the door, like, get your act together, watch it, and then he'll like walk out and be like, "Oh."
And to be fair, I'm sitting with a fan who has yet to apologise on a bad segue for a second time, but also a Supernatural fan.
I've followed the show for years. It's fantastic, but I am annoyed at Sky right now. They've cut it from their programming.
Sky 11 fairly recently cut Supernatural from their programming. Sky 11 channel, whatever. Show your anger on their Facebook page. On Sky, is it Rupert Murdoch that owns it? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Give him all your abuse and hate. Hate.
Not quite like that. Just leave an angry message.
Hate.
Don't send him anything.
Don't send him many feces in a box.
That means we're not getting season 9 over here, and I don't follow it on. I don't stream it or anything. I don't know how I managed to watch season 9. It was like a vision in my head. I saw it all, you know. I don't stream stuff. Don't be silly. Because that would be silly. That's just, out of all the other shows, they could have very easily cut Bones because it's a good show. It's just, it's stale. It's the same thing over and over again. Whereas the Winchesters, it's fantastic. It's just something. Yes, the middle seasons were a bit laggy, but eventually paid off in the end. And season 9 is supposed to be amazing.
Season 9 is one of the best seasons. If you go by the flawed Nielsen ratings in America, Nielsen ratings, it's actually the highest rated season since season 5, which says it all. But then again, they're not counting in people that do happen to stream it. I don't know anyone that does that. Illegal download, I don't know anybody that does that. Other means. But they must be doing well in season box sets and stuff as well.
Yeah, and yet they still thought it would be a good idea to cut it.
I don't understand it, to be honest, but let's move on because it's something I do not understand. And let's go on to something that we do understand. Foggy Nelson has been cast in the Daredevil Netflix original series by Marvel.
Dun, 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 dun.
The person playing him is Eldon Henson, known for his work in films like The Hunger Games, Mighty Ducks, and The Butterfly Effect.
Yes, if you go and have a wee search, don't even bother IMDb'ing him, because he was Fulton in the Mighty Ducks trilogy. He was a badass one, the one that got that puck in the net. The man that you required, who needed, who you wanted. He was a badass. And he went there. He got that puck and he put that in that net.
That mighty duck.
I think we just found out who Mario had a crush on when he was a kid.
And it wasn't Howard the Duck. Oh!
But it was still a duck.
You're right. Brian Singer's got him.
He wasn't a mighty duck. He wasn't.
He's just a duck. Leave him alone.
Gentlemen, we're at it. Move on.
But yeah, anyone excited by more casting news? Maybe we'll have something next week as well.
Well, you never know. Maybe every week we'll get
we
something that'll be.
We might actually find out who Rosario Dawson has been cast
Yes,
as.
that's one of the big ones. We've got the 3 main cast. We've got Matt Murdock, Foggy Nelson, and the Kingpin cast.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got Rosario Dawson, who Marvel have not said about. It was them that actually tweeted it during the week saying that Foggy Nelson has been cast, Eldon Henson, but why not saying Rosario Dawson, which maybe only fuels the rumours that she might be playing at Elektra or something else, maybe Tynan, maybe, I don't know. We don't know yet.
I'm really keen to see what villains Daredevil's going to be, because we know the first couple of episodes is going to be how he became Daredevil, and maybe it's an origins thing for him. But I really want to see what, because obviously the Kingpin, you know, he's your main villain, but we all know the Kingpin is known for hiring people to do what he wants. And it's like, obviously, you know, from Ben Affleck's last run at Daredevil, you know, we had Bullseye, and it's like, I think personally Bullseye's a great villain, especially when he becomes Hawkeye. I think that's genius. So I'm quite interested to see what villains are going to come into Daredevil, and, you know, the other mini-series deemed as the Defenders.
Well, I'd imagine that the way going forward, the shows will go in that order, so maybe once they start filming in Daredevil, they'll maybe be releasing information on other shows. It's always a good thing. Jumping on to another bit of big movie news, The Predator is getting a sequel, not a reboot, people, not a reboot, a sequel, as Shane Black has said that it will be an inventive sequel, and he said that him and the screenwriter Fred Decker value the rich mythology that's already been cast in the 2 previous movies.
3.
3, sorry, Predators as well. I've blocked out Predator 2.
Mario remembers Predator.
I do.
Who doesn't?
Predators is fantastic, but Predator 2 is just lacking. The only thing that Predator 2 offered, alien skull. That's all. He also says, why start over? Which...
Why start over from something good?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, make it better.
I know.
Which is, you know, great, because, like, he said that when he was questioned on it, it's like, it's really just a reboot, but because anything at this stage in the game is a reboot, and he was like, no, it's a sequel. It's the sequel people want, and it's the sequel people will get. And it's like, it was his answer. He's very confident in what he's doing with it, and, you know, I'm pretty sure he said as well he was a massive Predator fan, so he, you know, you want someone who's a big fan to do it, because he knows what he wants, and he obviously knows what the fans want as well.
Yeah, but there might be some people who are down him, because he did direct Iron Man 3, and that did have a big twist in it that not a lot of people liked.
I loved that twist.
I loved that twist. Come on, be honest.
Okay, apart from everyone in this room who loved it.
Karen, did you like the twist on Iron Man 3?
Yes.
Karen's nodding.
Okay, well,
Jamie, 3 against 1, mate. You said you were the size of 3 people. I think we can take you.
I totally get it.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I said a decision a lot of people didn't like. Never said I was one of them. I quite liked it.
Oh, you quite liked it?
Aye.
You didn't fully like it, though.
Oh, stop nitpicking. You're like that angry nerd that just picks at everything like, oh, this comic book is too colorful.
Page 255.
Aye, panel 4 in the background that's slightly more beige than the rest of the comic.
Yeah, that was a
Don't look at me
lovely
like
twist.
that. You know you've done that.
I haven't. Maybe.
Oh, well then,
Maybe.
it's not like Matt liking Judge Dredd.
Oh, trying to deflect the hate on you this day. Oh.
Matt, if you're listening.
Matt, me and James can safely say we can put aside the whole loving for Judge Dredd, because Superman and Howard the Duck is a much
Too
worse.
far.
It's a
Too
much
far,
worse thing to love.
Still, Carl Urban's much better. Moving on.
And moving on, yes. Last week we came up with a question on the page, with DC's future movie lineup being what some fans thought they would never see on the big screen. What characters would you like to see get their own movies? Starting off with James, what would you love to see on the big screen?
From what I've seen of Arrow, Arrow's genius as a show. I love Arrow as a show, and I'd quite like to see it in a feature length. But then you have to argue that there are feature length episodes.
Yes.
So a character that I've seen, but from DC, and he's not really. I'd quite like to see Deathstroke get his own film, just because, with everything that's happened, spoilers, with the Suicide Squad and things like that. I never thought I'd like them as much, but seeing them in Arrow and seeing how they work, they have a sort of. I don't know if anybody's ever seen The Losers.
No.
Right, The Losers is slightly like a sillier version of the Suicide Squad, but the Suicide Squad would make it more serious, and I think they've got the characters there. I think they definitely do that, and I'd quite enjoy that.
For me, I'd quite like to see Beta Ray Bill.
Nice.
I mean, you could argue that he's sort of like a space Thor, but with the way that Marvel's pushing like the Asgardians and that in their cinematic universe, they're slightly more alien in space and all that. So I think to have Beta Ray Bill in it, have him interact with like the Guardians, the Collector, maybe Thanos down the road. I think that would be a pretty cool. Maybe have him hold a Infinity Gem or two.
We're going to see him in the Guardians, aren't we? And you're going to be pure crying like.
If I see Beta Ray Bill in that, I will pass out with excitement. That's what would happen. I love Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, Beta Ray.
A few answers on the page. We got one of our own admins, Kill Ward. Big shout out there for you, man. Love you, but not seen you. He says, I would love to see a Justice Society movie with Alan Scott and Jay Garrick. That would get me in the theatre for a DC movie, which a lot of people are wanting. A lot of other people on the page are saying Justice Society. I think it would be a good movie, but be an awkward movie because it's a team. You would need to build that up over a series of movies like DC are going to be doing for Justice League. And then there was a nameless admin who posted Booster Gold directly underneath him. All I can say is that they must have balls of steel, and they've not named themselves yet on the page. If you want to do that, feel free to name yourself. We won't hate you. Kale might have some harsh words for you, but other than that, the rest of us will be fine. We've got Ryan Esler.
And his choice was a Moon Knight movie would be cool. The ever-teased Deadpool movie and Mark Miller's Nemesis / Super Crooks.
I think basically all of Mark Miller's stuff's going to get made into a movie sooner or later, with how his movies have been going. One of my picks for a movie, a character that I would love to see would be Superior. That it would be weird. It would probably need to be a 15 or 18, depending on the theme of it. If you've both read the title,
no,
read bits of it.
It's quite a sad story with the character having an illness and then this little space monkey giving him powers and stuff to do good, and then taking it away and stuff.
You just don't connect a man dying to a space monkey and being an 18, do you?
Maybe a 15, because his movies are pretty violent, so you would want that violence to carry over from the comic, with buildings destroying and people getting killed and whatever.
I think what the reason why I was quite wanting like a Deathstroke film is just it's the same way as like wanting like a film about the Joker or a film about like other villains. It's like that's why I'm quite excited for the Sinister Six if it goes ahead. But I'd quite like to see where that goes.
Yeah.
Matt Ev,
who was a former admin on the page.
Hello. Wants a Martian
a Martian
Manhunter. Well, he says Martian Manhunter naturally. You do it like John Carter in reverse. Start with Mars fantasy stuff, then switch to a 1950s pulp noir Sin City setting as John Jones,
I think it is. John Jones.
John Jones is dragged to Earth.
The alien name.
And that got 1 like, and I think it was us.
Yes, it was the page. That would be a rather interesting movie, and it could work because you never see the Martian Manhunter aging over time, so they could easily have him there before, say, the Man of Steel arrives, and build it from there, that he's been there in the background. He's promised not to interfere with the universe and let the Earth build on its own.
A tiny bit like Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He could, like, if you're going to set in like the same universe as Dawn of Justice and horrible name and Man of Steel, you could have it sort of be like he's in that, he's all that, and then someone would say, do you know any other like advanced civilizations? And he'd be like, I kind of knew this one planet that was under a red sun. That could be a nod to Superman, and another one you could have a reference to Ran and Adam Strange and all that. I think that would be quite interesting.
Other people have said Brendan Doig, who's I think Doig, who's an admin on the page, I believe, says Teen Titans, another one you would need to build up the individual characters on
I
and around.
you get a bit more leeway with that as well, though, because you've got, like, you know, because Daniel Radcliffe wanted to be Robin, and I don't know why. That's a no from me, Daniel. Like, you could have, like, the Teen Titans, because they're younger versions of, you know, bigger characters.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Robin, who you could see
Mini
training
Batman.
with Batman, or, you know, Raven. You know, she would have her own story, because she's a bit segregated from the rest of them, so...
I think if you're going to do like a JSA movie or a Teen Titans movie, you could kind of have it be like a reverse Avengers, where having them have this one apocalyptic thing happens, and then they all just form a team in the midst of it, and they're all not coordinated, they're all haywire. I think that could be pretty interesting.
And then Man of Steel, you know, like, we must work together. Well, alright, Superman, calm down.
Another fan of the page, Kevin Milton, says, I wouldn't mind Flash Rebirth as a movie. Mm-hmm. And that would be pretty cool. It's reintroducing Barry Allen into a world that he's been apart from for a long time. Kind of have like the Winter Soldier at the start, where Captain America's got his little notepad taking notes of stuff he missed and things, kind of like that. But you would need to introduce that he went missing and stuff before. Yeah. So we've got another one. If Jamie wants to read that. Jordan
McDonald, Dick Grayson or Damien, a Dick Grayson / Damian Wayne movie. And she also goes on to say he has Dr. Hunt and the Circus of... Dr. Hart and the Circus of the Strange as the main villains. Basically, I want Professor Pig as a deranged, spooky doctor doing all sorts of spooky stuff. This is all I want.
Let's sack it.
Listen up, DC. There's people wanting stuff out there. They're feeling it. They want these movies, these obscure characters and stuff.
And Wonder Woman, the less obscure character that nobody ever makes a movie about.
Yes, well,
there was a TV
until now.
series about it.
Hundreds of years ago.
But I think one of the biggest things would be really good to make is Death in the Family, if they ever were ambitious.
That could be pretty good, yes.
And to wrap up the show, I do not have a horrible segue for this song. Everybody that's listening, get yourselves
wait,
down.
I've got one.
No.
Oh, no, you're not allowed. James is actually up and left the studio. Karen is actually climbing over me right now. What am I going to do by myself? And Jamie, if you're all listening, join ourselves at the Buff Club tomorrow, 11 till 6. Lots of vendors, lots of comics. Get yourselves down there, lots of stuff. And into our final song, Lou Bega with Mambo number 5. People, enjoy your weekend. See you again.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo number 5. The car, so come on, let's ride to the liquor store around the corner. The boys say they want some gin and juice, but I really don't wanna be a buzz like I had last week. I must stay deep, cause talk is cheap. I like Angela, Pamela, Sandra, and Rita. And as I continue, you know they're getting sweeter. So what can I do? I really bag you, my lord. To me, flirting is just like a sport. Anything fly, it's all good. Let me jump rhythmically singing the trumpet. A little bit of Monica in my life, a little bit of Erica by my side, a little bit of Rita's all I need, a little bit of Tina's what I see, a little bit of Sandra in the sun, a little bit of Mary all night long, a little bit of Jessica, here I am, a little bit of you makes me your man. Mambo number 5. Jump up and down and move it all around. Shake your hand to the sound, put your hands on the ground. Take one step left and one step right. One to the front and one to the side. Clap your hands once and clap your hands twice. And if it looks like this, then you're doing it. A little bit of Monica in my life, a little bit of Erica by my side, a little bit of Rita's all I need, a little bit of Tina's what I see, a little bit of Sandra in the sun, a little bit of Mary all night long, a little bit of Jessica, here I am, a little bit of you makes me your man. Trumpet. Mambo number 5.
You've been listening to the Big Glasgow Comic Show on East Bartonshire Radio. Follow us online at edradio.co.uk, on Twitter at ed_radio, or on Facebook at facebook.com/edradio.